You are the end product of generations of physical beings and God source who have got your energy moving so very, very fast that you must work harder to keep up with it. But we want to say that in a better way. You must not work so hard against it. You must go with the flow. You can't not go with the flow. You cannot not keep up with who you are and feel good. You must keep up with who you are. So when your life causes you to ask for something more, all of the resources of the universe are queued up to help you get it. Friends, you got to go in the direction of it or you don't feel so good. And do you know, here it is, the biggest piece of information that we've ever given to anyone, and you are the first to hear it in this way. Oh, never mind. You are the one who creates your flow, and you are the one that does not go with it. And not one other person in your life has anything to do with that. It's you versus you. Period. So when something isn't going well and you say it's your fault or it's your fault or it's your fault or it's this condition or it's this condition or this is this condition, we say you may very well be using those conditions as your reason to point upstream. And because you've got yourself pointed upstream, we know your stream that you created, your self-created stream, is beating up on you pretty good. It's giving you cancer, or it's giving you a car wreck, or it's giving you something that you do not want. But it's all self-inflicted because you're the one that created the stream and you're the one that's bucking the stream. You get this? All you. All worthy, beautiful, eternally evolving, creative genius you. So we understand why you get pretty irritated when things aren't going well, because at such deep levels of your being, you know it's supposed to. You know who you are at such deep levels of your being. And when you temporarily forget and you find some silly thing to fuss and worry about, and you don't let the stream carry you, then you have a sort of rough ride, and then you want to blame it on the thing you're fussing about. The one who wronged you, the one who misled you, the one who lied to you, the one who dropped the bombs on the people you care about, the ones who blew up the something that you cared about. In other words, there are plenty of things to point at in terms of conditions to say, that condition makes me feel bad, and 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 that condition makes me feel bad. And that condition makes me feel bad, and that condition makes me feel bad, and that condition makes me feel bad, and that condition, we're just going down the list, that condition makes me feel bad. We've only done the first row, and that condition makes me feel bad. But pretty soon, are you hearing a theme? Feel bad, feel bad, feel bad, against the flow, 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 against the flow. So why not stop your subscription to CNN just for a while? Throw the newspaper in the bushes and let the sprinklers get it before you do. In other words, you notice how much the universe is trying to help you out? And as you begin to withdraw your attention from this that makes me feel bad, and this that makes me feel bad, and this that makes me feel bad, in the withdrawing of your attention from those things, your boat begins to turn and the current begins to take you, and then you begin to notice so many of the things that you have filled your vibrational escrow full of. We want you to get a sense of your individual vibrational escrow, but we also want you to get a sense of the vibrational escrow that you are contributing as individuals that is becoming the mass consciousness collective vibrational escrow. Do you realize what's going on in terms of the future generations? As you're living life and you're asking for improvements in this and this and this and this and this, future generations are being born in that vibration. How can that be? Think about that. So you are non-physical energy. You are born into this physical body. In this physical body, you know what you don't want, so you know what you do want, so you ask for it. You contribute it to vibrational escrow. And the non-physical part of you goes immediately there and becomes the vibrational essence of your new, improved, expanded asking. And it is from that vantage point that your babies are being born. You wonder why they're cable ready. You wonder why they are less willing to go with the flow upstream. You wonder why they are clearer and brighter and surer you get to know these little buggers and you say, you're 4 years old and you're smarter than I am. And the reason is because they have all that you have lived and all that you have contributed to vibrational escrow as the basis from which they are born, you see. They are going with the flow. The day they hit the ground running, you were too, but you forgot how, and now we want to teach you how again. In other words, every process that we offer, and they are endless, have you noticed? Are all pointed toward you releasing your resistance and allowing yourself to receive the benefit of what your life has caused you to create. So when we say to go with that flow willingly, you must trust that flow. And we say, do you? Do you get it that you are source energy in a physical body? And do you get it that your selfish nature, all of you, is only asking for improvement? And when everyone is asking for improvement and the thing that everyone is asking for is what's going on in vibrational escrow, can't you see that everything that you all want is downstream and that source is taking you to it and that you don't have to earn your way to it? Just stop doing that thing you're doing that's keeping you from going there. Some of you say, well, if that's true, if all of the things that I want are there, then shouldn't I get a motor and put it on my boat and do it? Affirmations, 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 affirmations. Creative workshop, creative workshop, creative workshop, creative workshop, creative workshop, creative workshop. Well, whatever rings your bells. But what we notice is affirmation, 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 affirmation. In other words, what we notice is sometimes you're working so hard at what you think you want and you're so irritated that things aren't breaking loose for you that even though you're sounding quite positive with the words that you are choosing, don't you know I love you? You say to your children, don't you know this is for your own good? And we say, we're a little dramatic. Well, you should see what you do. We want you to relax. We want you to understand that the universe is not responding to your words. The universe is responding to your vibration. The universe is responding to your stance. The stream is flowing. The stream is flowing. The stream is flowing. It's time for you to pet your cat and go. It's time for you to take a day off and go. It's time for you to lay on the beach. It's time for you to chill out. It's time for you to get focused upon things that make you feel good. It's time for you to call your work play and mean it. It's time for you to do the things that you like to do, period. It's time for you to trust that if you stop doing today every single thing that you don't like doing, that if it was important, the universe would find a way to get it done. And if it isn't important, then who cares? You can stop doing everything that you don't want to do and begin doing only those things that you want to do. But you must keep your ear to the ground relative to your vibrational escrow, relative to your vibrational relativity, in order to figure out how to do this. In other words, if you say, all right, Abraham, I'm taking you at your word. I have never liked my job. I'm going to stop doing it today. Yesterday, day before was my last day. I'm not going back to work. And we say, that might make you go with the flow for a minute. But as the realization of what that means sweeps over you, as you start to feel the fear of not enough money or the fear of what your mate's going to say when you make the announcement, or there are all kinds of reasons that decision, while there are some aspects of it that feel a little better, right now that action is not the best feeling action. So then you say, all right, well, I'm not going to leave it today, but I am going to find something that is more in harmony with who I am. And now you start turning and going with the flow. In other words, you begin to discover that you don't have to stop doing that thing. You just have to call it a temporary thing that you're doing and you feel better. You just have to look for some positive aspects within it and you feel better. And as you begin to play with this, you will discover that wherever you are in relationship to whatever you are wanting, as you begin to make more and more statements and reach for more and more thoughts that give you more often that feeling of relief, the stream will take you to the places that you want to be. In other words, what we're saying to you is, chill more where you are at work. Look for more positive aspects and try to find a way to feel better even though you are still driving there or working there every day. And begin to notice that as you turn again and again and again and again and again and go with the flow, that the flow will take you right into employment that is pleasing you. Because the flow will take you to the vibrational escrow that you have been contributing to mightily as you have been pointing out to yourself all of the things about where you now work that you don't like, which is causing you to flow into vibrational escrow all of the things that you would prefer. Do you know that in all that you've been living, that you've been contributing to your vibrational escrow, and that Source is so answering what you're asking for, that there are endless new employment opportunities that are presenting themselves in your vibrational escrow that you can't find because you're complaining about where you are. And when you stop complaining about where you are and you start turning and turning and turning and turning, now you're beginning to go with the flow, and now the opportunity shows itself to you and you say, oh, you look like exactly what I thought I was looking for. And then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. There is no end to the improvement of your life. You will never bottom out. There will never be too much good stuff in your experience. There will never be an end to the good stuff that you have waiting for you in your ever-evolving vibrational escrow. Have we convinced you? Don't you adore your guidance system that is letting you know in every moment the only thing that matters, I'm pointed that way or that way? And don't you love knowing that in the moment that you stop pointing that way, that you'll naturally begin to point that way? And don't you love knowing that the stream will take you to everything you've ever wanted? Don't you love knowing that? And don't you want to now let go of all of that effort you've been making to be worthy now that you know you already are? You already are worthy. Well, that was satisfying. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. We know that you have heard us, and we have been pleased with what we have accomplished as a result of our chewing here together today. We can feel that many of you have moved closer in understanding who you are. The emphasis that we've been offering here today is about acknowledging that the stream of well-being is flowing mightily, and that it has your best interests and everything that you want in stream, in mind, at heart. And as you begin to focus upon the stream and its meaning and how it got there and your relationship with it, and you begin to pay attention exclusively to how you feel, which is everything about your relationship with the stream, in far greater ease than you have previously imagined, you're going to begin to be the receiver of so many of the things that you've been asking for. And we want for you the manifestation of those relationships and those houses and those experiences. And most of all, we want for you the manifestation of the realization of who you really are. We want you to start being happy in the stream. We want you to begin to feel the exhilaration of life that you felt when you made the decision to come forth. As we've been visiting here today, talking about this stream endlessly, and one after another coming forward and saying, yes, but what about this problem? And what about this problem? And what about this problem? How does this problem relate to the stream? And how does this problem relate to the stream? And but what about this problem? And how does it relate to the stream? We want to say to you, those problems are your paddling upstream, period. In other words, they are the antithesis of the stream. They are the opposite of the stream. And as you get fixated on these problems you want to solve, you hold yourself longer in resistance to the solution that is already there and has been there for a very long time. You're going to get so good at just turning and turning and turning and turning that you will find solutions before problems have even manifested, and you will not even know you had a problem because the solution will get there simultaneously with the problem. Do you know that's happening to you already? Potential problems are being diverted by your attention to feeling good. And so, as we acknowledge what's in your vibrational escrow, we are thrilled. In fact, you give us the opportunity to live it, and it is a delicious place to be out there on your leading edge.